My next business networking event is on Wednesday, the 10th of April. Look, if you're an entrepreneur, you're a business owner, or you're just someone who wants to learn how to get into business, then you need to be in environments like this. It's in the heart of Manchester City Centre. The tickets will be in the link below.
I know there's kind of like a sweet spot in it like that. I haven't really looked into podcasting because I don't do it myself, but I
Yeah.
know there's kind of a number of podcasts out there until you really start getting that traction in it. But they say that you should at least bang out like, I don't know whether it's 100 or 1,000 podcasts, but I know
Yeah.
there's some sort of like science.
I guess it's that as well, and like you could do 100, but if you don't pay attention to what you're doing,
Yeah, of course.
But I'm like, after 10, I'm like assessing it, reviewing it,
Yeah,
sitting
reviewing
down
it,
thinking
trying to-
like, how can I do this better?
How can you get
what are the
better,
big boys doing?
Yeah,
Let me
definitely.
study them.
Yeah,
and
of
then
course.
it's like, then that's how you just pick up little tips.
Yeah.
It's like I watch so many podcasts, like an hour and a half, and then I've picked up something in 1 minute
Yeah, of course.
off the last 10 minutes of that podcast.
Yeah.
Boom.
That's the one, isn't it?
I'm bringing that in.
Yeah,
So it's,
sick.
stuff like that.
Nah, I love that, man. So you're a student of the game.
Yeah.
I love that, man.
Bro, thank you for coming today.
Nah, of course,
I really,
man.
really appreciate it.
Now, of course, man. You know what? Joshua. I think it was Joshua. I was watching some stuff with Joshua's.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, man. I was like, yo, that looks like a good podcast, man. I like the way you was talking with him and stuff like that. And I was like, and then he told me a little bit about your journey, and I was like, yeah, look connect to me, man.
Yeah.
So just natural, man. Do you know what I'm saying?
Because we've been speaking for a bit now.
Yeah. Because I think I was meant to come a while back.
Yeah.
But something happened. Something
Timing
came up.
is everything, isn't
Yeah,
it?
timing is everything, man. And to be fair, this is a good time because there was a time when I was really like I blew up in it online and stuff like that,
Okay.
and things were going really good, and I had loads of people saw me for podcasts, but my head wasn't really. I never had no offers. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Got it.
I never really had something that if I'm doing a podcast, I can draw people to. Because I used to just do my own business, and I used to do a lot of public speaking. But even when I was public speaking, I was leaving a lot of money on the table. Because say I charge someone to speak,
Yeah.
but I didn't have an offer for the audience or for the organization that booked me in.
Wow, you didn't have an offer.
I never had no offers. I didn't really know about offers. It was only until lockdown happened, and obviously all the events stopped.
For those that don't know what you mean by offer, what do you mean by offer? Like a
mean-
program, like an
a
online program.
Yeah, like an online program.
Yeah,
do you
yeah.
know what I mean? So, are we recording?
Yeah, we get going like that. It's fine.
I didn't even realize we were recording. Yeah, so offer means like like something like your own products, whether it's a digital program, a
Yeah.
coaching program, whether it's a high ticket offer. I didn't really understand that until lockdown happened. So when lockdown came, because I'm so used to like speaking, I spoke in schools, universities, colleges, even done some corporate work, a lot
You've
of
done a
corporate
lot
work
of
as well.
stuff, bro.
Yeah, I've done a lot of work. And then lockdown happened, and all that, my whole diary just, because my diary is normally booked like 6 months in advance, like booking after booking when it comes to public talking, public speaking engagements. They all just, after lockdown, cancellation. I was like, oh my gosh, how am I going to keep the lights on? Because that's my main source of income, do you know what I mean? Then I had to tap into the kind of coaching game.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, okay, how can I work from home and make money? And that's the thing, sometimes when your back's against the wall, that's when you perform best.
You do?
Do you know what I mean? And I was like, freaking out, what am I going to do? And then came across like online coaching and how to create your own offers.
Yep.
And I've been kind of trying to study that game as much as I can. Still perfecting it, still not
Yeah.
I'm mastering it, but I was looking at people online like Russell Brunson,
Yep.
your Myron Goldens, your Brendan Butchard, I think his name is.
Yeah.
All those guys, and I was kind of like implementing my own offers. First, I started to do a bit of business coaching.
Got it.
But I'll be totally honest with you, and I'll be completely transparent. I'm not a multi-millionaire, so I felt a little bit of self-imposter syndrome. I could teach people at a certain level,
Yeah.
but then, when it comes to like people that are turning over big businesses and stuff like that, I didn't feel like I had much for them. Then I've done a bit of mindset coaching. It was good, but the end result, mindset coaching, you get a lot of mindset coaches, right? And I was one as well.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, it's a long period of time. You can't work with someone over 12 weeks doing mindset. You might be able to give them some tips, but
Yeah.
it's like mindset takes a while to develop. Do you get what I mean? And then that's when I came up with my public speaking, which was stupid. I was thinking, how come I didn't think of this before? This is what everybody knows me for. Everyone knows me. Cordell Jeffers, you're that speaker. You're that motivational speaker. Do you know what I mean? If I go to events, everyone knows me as a speaker. So I created an offer around how to take somebody from point A to point B and help them master their their message for the world, ideally. And then when I came up with a public speaking offer, that's when things just started to explode for me. Do you know what I mean?
Wow.
Which made sense because that's what people know me for. Do you know what I mean? And I always say, if I'm teaching someone how to kind of create their own offers,
Yeah.
you know, what do people know you for? What are your strengths? And what do people ask you for help for? That's what you should kind of create your offer around because that's what people want already from you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what are you also, you know, 3 or 4 steps ahead of somebody else? You ain't got to be 100 steps.
Yeah.
But what's that, you know, 2 or 3 steps that you know that you're in front of somebody else with? You know, pick that skill, package it, and, you know, offer it to people.
Yeah, no, I love that, love that. So when did you put an offer together?
So literally, it was in lockdown, and it was by force. So first thing was kind of like just helping people with their business. So I thought,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
quite entrepreneurial, set up a few businesses myself. So I just thought to myself, yeah, let me just help, you know, people that are new startups with business. Got a few clients, done quite well. My thing was more, I'm very good at ideas. Do you know what I mean? I'm a person that will come up with 100 ideas, but I've got that kind of, that I used to have that kind of, what do they call it? Is it, you know, when you're chasing the carrot? Do you know what I mean? So I would get an idea and then think, oh, do you know what? Let me just go to that one. Oh, you know what? Let me go to that one.
Just keep swinging from
And I'd
here and
have
there.
loads of different ideas. And I thought, you know, this can't be the real way of doing entrepreneurship. You know, you don't want to be, you know, a jack of all trades and a master of nothing.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
get what I'm saying? So I thought, let me kind of just zone in on 1 or 2 things and work with that. So that's what I've done. But when I was doing my coaching, I thought, because I have so many ideas, I can help people develop their ones. And that, you know, it done all right. But again, it wasn't something that blew. It never blew up. Then I've done a bit of mindset stuff. And I'll be honest with you, I was working with some people that needed more than my mindset coaching. Do you know what I mean? They needed some therapy or counseling, bro. Do you get what I mean? I was like, this is too stressful. Do you know what I mean? This is too stressful.
Yeah.
And then I kind of come up with over the last, you know, like year or so, the, you know, public speaking. And I'm not going to lie, this is what I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about helping people share their stories
Yeah.
to the world, and share and impact people. Do you know
Yeah,
what
I
I mean?
love that.
And that's because we've all got stories. We've all got a story. Me,
Yeah.
I've got a story. You've got a story. The man across, you know, I just went to Morrison's Express, whatever it was next door.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He's the guy, but that just served me. He's got a story.
100%.
And I just feel like by not sharing them stories, sometimes you can be kind of selfish because, you know, your story can save somebody's life.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? So that's why I'm so passionate about, you know, helping people share their stories.
No, love that, bro. Yeah, and you know what? When I was saying to you earlier on, I was doing some research on you. You've been on BBC, you've been on ITV, you've won awards, you've done a lot of things, and you've been banging at this from, I would probably say 17, 18.
Yeah. I've been banking it out for a while.
I went all the way back to check your first post.
Yeah.
You've also done TEDx,
Yeah.
which I'm going to be doing in the next few months.
Oh, wicked, man. I love that. Amazing, amazing. Wait, how are you feeling, first of all, with that?
You know, I'm feeling good. I just need to, because it's a little bit different, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
to like an open arena type of talk. I feel like it's more, you have to be really in tune with the storytelling. You have to watch your tone. It's really, you have to connect with people. You
Yeah,
have to be just
definitely.
good at storytelling.
Yeah, definitely.
And like, I'm not the best at it, but put your reps in.
Put the
That's
reps
what
in.
I'm telling myself. Put your reps in,
Yeah.
and you know, get to work, and you know,
Nah, you're smart. Do you know what? I think TEDx for a lot of speakers, especially speakers, that's like the Grammy of speaking, innit? It's like the Grammys of public speaking. Like
Yeah.
when you get a TEDx, it's kind of like, you know, it's a pinnacle because ideally you're sharing the same stage as, you know, Elon and Bill Gates. These are all people that have done TED Talks, that they've been on that red carpet. So to even put yourself and like you kind of almost rubbing shoulders with those guys saying that you've done a TED Talk. Do you know what I mean? So
it's big, isn't it?
it's massive. It's massive.
Okay.
And yeah, like just share your story and just be authentic. I think authenticity sells all the way. Do you know what I mean? That's what helps people connect with you.
Yeah, 100%. How's this year been for you then?
This year has been 2023.
Yeah.
I was very intentional to just chill, calm down a
Oh,
little
was
bit.
you?
Yeah, so I took a bit of a break.
Interesting.
Hence the reason why, you know, this year I said, you know, I'm getting back out there, podcast, stuff like that. And the reason why I took a break is because I had a daughter, and I just thought to myself, you know what? I want to be in her life in the first 12 months. Oh, well, I want to be in her life for the next,
Yeah,
how
yeah,
long?
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? The rest of my life. But I know these kind of early years are very important, you know, so I slowed down and I just tried to create more online, revenues. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I've been able to do. So I kind of took an intentional time to take some time off. And to be honest with you, I'm very grateful. And I'm lucky to be able to do that because not a lot of people can do that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like I said, that lockdown, when lockdown came, forcing myself to not have to always be out there physically and, creating more stuff online has helped me to be able to, this year I'd be able to take a bit of time off, man, from my...
Yeah, I think you're being really humble. So when did you actually blow up?
So the way it started is I was on Instagram, right? And I was posting, like, so I started to do talks. And I was like posting them. I was doing school talks and I was posting them. I was doing, work in colleges and stuff like that. And I was just literally doing it just to kind of show what I was doing.
Yeah.
I didn't realize back then that the algorithm and how things work. I didn't know all of this social content. You need hooks and all of this stuff, right?
Yeah.
I just knew, let me just post, and just being authentic. My community started to, like see what I was doing. And I started to say, wow, like, we ain't really seen a lot of people do what you're doing. So, people started to like, share my stuff. And then I'd say when lockdown happened, things just really started to just blow up because I was doing a lot of work with the Prince's Trust as well, which is they're one of the biggest charities in the UK for young people. I was doing a lot of work with them. I became an ambassador, so I was sharing, my journey with other young people, mentoring and stuff like that. And things like, celebrities started to catch on to it, what I was doing. Like Idris Elba, he's gave me a shout out. When I got an award, Asher D, Ashley Waters from Top Boy, he, reached out and, was a part of my journey getting an award. Got an award from, obviously, the King of England now, who was the Prince at the time.
Yep, I've
Which
seen
was
that.
crazy, man. And it's like, no one from my community was doing stuff like that. And even now, I don't really know anyone that's got an award from the King of England. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
It's getting invited to places like 10 Downing Street. Richard Branson seen my story and he wrote me a letter from... That was crazy because that was one of the first autobiographies I ever read was on Richard Branson. I always wanted to be like him as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Have
yeah,
like
yeah.
1,000 businesses, like, under one brand. You know how he had Virgin, but then there's like 1,000 companies
Yeah, yeah,
underneath
yeah,
it.
yeah.
I always kind of wanted that for myself. So to get a letter from Richard Branson, for me, that was the pinnacle. That was like, wow, like,
Yeah.
I'm really doing this. I must be doing this. For him to sit down, he's got his own island, isn't it? Is it
Yeah,
Necker
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Island?
yeah, yeah.
To write me a handwritten letter and to send it to me to say how I've inspired him, that was crazy.
Wow, because I'm thinking about the person that's watching, right? The first year, second year, like where was the point where you hit your break, and how long does it take, for example? Because I would say that I've been in business for years,
Yeah.
but social media world probably
Yeah.
been about a year and a half,
Yeah, of course.
and like how does did you just keep banging at it and then eventually just things started picking up? How did you, for example, get into public speaking with schools and
Yeah, stuff like that.
so how did it all did some doors open or did you push the doors open?
Well, it's crazy because like a real entrepreneur, you don't ever feel like you've had a break. You always just feel like there's a next level in it. So when you say I've had my break, it's like I'm sitting there thinking, I don't even feel like I've had
I've
my break
started,
yet.
yeah.
Do you get what I mean? I feel like I'm just getting my feet wet now. However, though, I
I'm
would
talking
say,
about like the startup people.
yeah, definitely. But I would say, for me, 10 years, man. I've been doing this since I've been like 16. Do you get what I mean? When I read
Wow.
my first book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, 16 years old, I've been on it since then. And it might have just been a lot of different sporadic things and
Yeah, yeah,
projects
yeah.
and stuff like that, but I've I've had a vision since 16 years old, and obviously over time the vision's just evolved and it's become what it is today. But what it's probably more, it's more than because what I'm 31 now, so if I'm 16, you're talking how
Wow.
many years? So there is no, I don't think there's any kind of like, amount of time. You just gotta picture what your vision is, and just jump into the process of taking action until that comes to reality.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, picture the end result, but don't just, like just think, oh, I'm just gonna, one day this is gonna happen. You have to put in the hours, you have to put in the reps and the graft, like for as long as it takes. Do you know what I mean? And if you're doing your purpose and if you are seriously dedicated to bringing your reality to life, you would stick in it and you would do it until it becomes a physical. You can hold it in your hand. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because I always say, you think of things twice, once in your mind and then the second time in reality. Do you know what I mean? And you have to put in them reps until that manifestation becomes physical.
No. Totally 100%. You do public speaking, you've got a program now as well with
Yeah.
public speaking. How does that work? Does people just apply to work with? Is it one-on-one? Is it group? Is it?
Yeah, I do one-on-one, and the reason why I do one-on-one coaching is just because, some people's stories are quite personal to them as well. So we have to do a lot of work sometimes because there's some parts of people's stories that, they haven't really overcome yet themselves.
Yeah.
But they want to share it to help others, but they just ain't really overcome it. So I have to do a lot of like work on that first, and then we work on putting their story together. So it's one-on-one coaching, and it's a 3-month program as well. So that's kind of what I'm working on. I will possibly in the future make it a group coaching program, but at the moment it's one-on-one, and it's really just helping you one create your story, one help you create a framework as well because if you look at Rich Dad Poor Dad, you've got he's got the quadrant, right? If you look at Tony Robbins, he's got something called the 8 human needs. But when you look at the 8 human needs, it's a framework. But when you actually look at Maslow theory, if you know about Maslow, Abraham
Yeah.
Maslow, he's got his hierarchy of needs. All Tony did was look at Abraham Maslow's stuff and reinvent it a little bit, just added his little spice to it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I always tell people this: you don't have to think of something brand new, right? You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can take what's already working
already
in the
been done, right?
marketplace
Yeah.
and just add your little sprinkle on it. And that's what Tony's done. And Tony's like, he's on the pedestal. In my industry, personal development, he's like what everyone aims to be. And when you look at his stuff, his work has actually just been reinvented by, people like Abraham Maslow and stuff like that. So I teach people how to create their own framework. So that might be for you. Let's say you're teaching a group of property experts, right?
Yeah.
You might share your story and teach people how, you've got from point A to B through your story, but then you want to give them something physical that they can take away and take action with. And that's what you call your own unique branded framework. So it might be the 5 steps to, Airbnb, for example.
Yeah.
And then you might name it something. You might put it in a little shape. This is point B, point C, point. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, that's what I teach people: how to create a framework, and then from that framework, they can then go and create their own product, whether that's a book, whether that's an online course, whether that's a digital program,
Yeah.
or whether that's a physical event. Do you know what I mean? So they're the 3 things because, like I said, when I first started speaking, I was talking, I was sharing my story, and I'd get paid to talk, and it felt good. Listen, public speaking, 100% is the highest paid profession per minute, 100%, because there's speakers out there, which I aim to reach, are getting paid 100K just to do a talk.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Your Gary V's, people like that, and even down to like people that I know that don't have massive followings, they're still getting paid 50,000, stuff like that, to do talks. Do you know what I mean? I'm in the grands, all right. So I pay I charge a few grand to do a talk for 20 minutes, which for me is still great, but there's still higher levels that I want to take, right? But what I was thinking is, okay, I'm doing a 20-minute talk, I might get paid 3 grand or something like that. Great, I'm excited. Bro, 3 grand in 20 minutes. However, though, when I started to have an offer and I was sharing that to the audience, people then enroll into my programs.
Yep.
So now that 3 grand's turned into 10, 15 grand for
yeah.
one talk. Do you get what I mean? And that is the power of speaking. You can actually create a lot of impact and make a lot of income as well from it. So yeah, I teach people how to share their stories, create their frameworks, and create their products as well. So they've got offers, so
Nice.
they can make themselves become a 6-figure talker.
Yeah, yeah. No, love that, love that. So, is it true that the public speakers in America get paid more? They get paid better, or is it it doesn't really? Is it more on branding?
I would say it's more on branding. I think the social media world's opened that now. I think that was probably once upon a time true, and I wouldn't think, oh, just because that person's American, I'm English. I don't think it's nothing to do with that. I just think in America, public speaking, motivational speaking was a big thing from early. You got people like
Yeah.
Les Brown who kind of brought those doors open. You've got loads of speakers over there. So in schools and colleges would pay you 5 grand to do a talk over there. You wouldn't really get that here.
They're
Do you
on
know
a
what I mean?
budget here,
The schools and stuff like were on a bit of a budget. And as much as I love schools, I realized if I wanted to make the income that I really wanted, I had to go corporate and start learning how to talk to corporates, which was a mad transition as well, going from school kids to corporates. But yeah, I would say in America, it was well accepted from early on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I would say that, but I wouldn't say that just because you're American you'll get.
Oh no. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Just
more.
because it's accepted there a little bit more because
Yeah, it's
maybe doing it
accepted.
longer, isn't it?
However, now though, I feel like things with like companies now they've got is it CSR, corporate social responsibility. They have to have budgets for like wellness and personal development now. So companies have to offset a part of their budget every single year for workshops, for training, force talkers to come into their
So
company.
there's more opportunities, basically.
So there's more opportunities,
Yeah.
So that's one thing. And schools now, I think they're understanding if I want to get through to my students, we have to have people that kind of represent them, people that kind of look like them, that sounds like them, that could come in and speak to them and share their journey to success as well. So that's why schools have been, really acceptive now. And I would say that I was doing schools like 7 years ago. Do you know what I mean? So
Wow.
yeah. So I've been doing it for quite a long time.
So let's just say if someone wanted to get into a school or corporate,
Yeah.
what would be the avenues to do that?
So what I do, this is exclusive.
This is game, this,
This is
guys.
game. So what I do is the power of like Instagram for me is your CV, right? So that's kind of like your CV. That's what people scroll. With real business goes down on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
All right. So what I would do, let's just say for a school example, go on to type in Birmingham schools, for example. You'll get a Gov website of all the listed schools, right? Then what I used to do is I used to create a spreadsheet, put them all in a spreadsheet. I used to take the name of the school, type
Yeah.
it in on LinkedIn, and then when you type that name in on LinkedIn, all the main people come up, like the head teacher, the vice principal, the deputy head, the head of years. Connect with them, and then I'd go on their website, find something a little bit unique, like so for example their school values, and then I'd go on their messages and say hi, Mrs.
Whatever,
whatever your
yeah.
name is, and then I'd say, I've got an amazing program and a talk as well that really ties into your school values. I'd list the school values. I really would love to be able to come in and impact some of your students, whether it's the year 10s, the year 11s, to help them focus back on their GCSEs, and just start that kind of conversation on LinkedIn, get a call, get them on a call, and then yeah, just close the deal.
Yeah,
Do
yeah,
you know what
yeah.
I mean? So it's kind of like it's a numbers game. Do you know what I mean? You got to message quite a lot of people, but as your personal brand starts to build and you start to get testimonials and reviews, it's easier to kind of close them deals.
It's like anything. Momentum just
Just like
kicks
it.
in, doesn't it?
Momentum kicks in. It's just like anything. But like I said, people want to be speakers and they're always like, how do you get into schools? Like, contact them. Like, do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
start contacting them. But LinkedIn is where the game happens. Even for corporates as well. If I want to go to any, it don't matter who, it don't matter, what company it is. It could be the NHS, it could be PwC, it could be KPMG. Find them on LinkedIn and start connecting with the decision makers on there as well.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Even if you got a clothing brand, if you got a clothing brand and you want to get your, stuff into JD Sports or Selfridges, just type, buyers for Selfridges on LinkedIn and they'll all come up.
All come up.
Do you know what I mean? Connect with them, start building that kind of relationship, and then, get a meeting with them.
Yeah, yeah. No, 100%. Love that. There's exclusive for you guys. So, but you know what people will do? They still won't go and take action.
They still won't take action, and that's
Yeah,
the thing.
yeah.
And you know what? I always say to people, this is the thing, right? This is why it's so important to, be in tune with your purpose and understand what that is, because like I said, you can be the master, you can be the jack of all trades and the master of none. And most of the time, what a lot of entrepreneurs do is that they try to focus on loads of different things just because, it might sound like it makes some money, but you can make money in every arena. Do you get what I mean? You can make, like, if you want to be a cleaner, if you love cleaning, you can set up your own cleaning business and then get a contract with, like, some of the biggest hotels in the world, for example. But what a lot of people do is they don't really start projects based on their purpose. And then when times get hard or when things get tough, they just quit. Do you know what I mean? But if it's your purpose and you really are in tune and you're doing something that you love, you will take every hit, you'll take every obstacle, and instead of looking at problems as problems, you'll think of it, okay, how can I learn from this and how can I find a solution? But you'll only do that if you tapped into your purpose, because if it's anything else, you'll just quit it. And I know that because that's what I used to do. I used to start loads of ideas, start them up. Soon as it gets a bit tough, a bit hard, oh no, I forget this, I ain't doing it. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's only now when I know that I'm tapped in, and my purpose is to, one, impact as many lives on this planet possible, to help them think better, to help them change their beliefs, and two, help as many people share their stories so they can go on and impact people as well. I feel like I'm doing, my vision is bigger than me. I feel like I'm doing God's work. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Whether you're religious or not, if you look at any religious book, from Islam to Christianity, like, God always had his messages and there was always communicators.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? And that's what my mission is. So I'm tapped in and I've learned, I've done the hours and I've studied and I've studied. And that's another thing. You'll know if somebody's serious, if they study or not. A lot of people start stuff, but they don't even study their craft.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? Like we just spoke about the podcast.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you said you study, you learn, you're learning the craft, you're figuring out what the big boys are doing.
Yeah.
That's how I know this is your purpose. And that's how I know by divine order, this is going to blow. Whether it's blown now, whatever your vision is about this, it's going to come true because you're doing the work and you're putting in those hours.
Yeah, no, 100%. I appreciate that. No, definitely. That's what people do. You're right. As soon as it gets a little bit tough, they just quit.
Yeah, they quit.
So you took a bit of a gap this year. You said took it a little bit easy.
Yeah,
How are you planning to move into 2024 with an RS6?
yeah. Well, 2024 for me, like I said, it's more.
But by the time this comes out, it will be
Yeah,
2024,
with
guys.
2024. All right, so technically right now,
Right now, it is
technically right
2024.
now, my mission is it's more. I'm gonna be doing more events. I was doing events before the lockdown,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna be doing more live in-person events as well. And I've got something that I done online last year. It was a 5-day challenge, and it was called Quantum Leap. And we worked on, how to find purpose, how to shift your mindset,
Yeah.
how to monetize that purpose, and also, we was working on health. We was working on all the key areas of life, ideally.
Yeah, yeah.
I want to bring that live, so that's what I'm going to be doing. We had over 100 people on Zoom for 5 days, which was incredible. And it was
So you're doing a 5-day challenge.
5-day challenge
Are you
online.
not doing them anymore?
Well, that's what I want to do live though. So it's not going to be 5 days, probably make it just 2 days, but 2 long days over a weekend. And we're looking to do those kind of like, helping people find their purpose and monetize it and, get their mind right as well. That I'm really excited about doing those. And also, again, it's just, coaching people how to become great speakers. And I've
Yeah.
opened up my diary. Opened up my diary about 2 months ago, and already I'm kind of booked out up until March now. So just
Wow.
be speaking, because I'm known in that
You're
area.
known in that
Yeah, I'm
area,
very
yeah.
known in that area. So yeah, that's it. And like I said, the way I got into public speaking as well, because you asked that, but I forgot to answer it. But the way I got into public speaking is, I always was the one around my friendship groups that was the one that was trying to share wisdom and help people think better, and help people just make the right decisions. Because I come from a tough environment. Do you know what I mean? I come from the ends, as you would call it, and
Yeah.
you know what it's like. It's there's not a lot of income in those places. There's not a lot of funding. So the young people, you end up doing things that you don't necessarily want to do, just to sometimes even provide. I'm not making an excuse for every person, but when I was coming up, that was what my friendship group was
Yeah,
doing,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
And a lot of the time they'd be trying to make the wrong decisions, and I would try to always help my friends think better and think about the decisions that they're making, because I always say the decisions that you make now are going to impact you in the future. And I was thinking like that because of what I was reading. So I was reading every night.
Was ya?
Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Think and Grow Rich, The Power of Now, all of these books I was reading from I was like 16, 17 years
Wow.
old. So I had that, my mindset shifted very quickly. So I was always doing that. And people started to be like, yo, Cordell, like, you're really good at this, you're really good at like sharing your knowledge and your wisdom with us, and actually making us think better and making us not do things that we wanted to do. So there was just like, you should think about like taking this on a serious level. So that's when I was thinking, oh, how do I do that? Like, how can I speak and coach and help people? And then came across people like Les Brown,
Yeah.
and I just seen him like public speaking, and then I came across you, Tony Robbins, and I was thinking, oh, these are making a great income, impacting people's lives. And then I just thought, what can I do? And then that's how I started to get into schools.
Yeah.
For me, when I mastered schools, I wanted to go corporate, and I was thinking, wow, a corporate's going to take me serious even though I've just been speaking to a bunch of school kids for the last 10 years. Are they going to take me serious? So I was thinking, how do I get into that arena? And then what I'd done is I created my own events. So I was creating my own live business events. I would get a lot of like local leaders around my area, put them on the event. No one would know it's my event. And then I'd make myself the keynote speaker. So it would look like, whoa, you've got this person and that person that are doing very well. How come you're the keynote speaker? Do you know what I mean? So then when I'm sharing this with corporates and places that I wanted to get into do my talks, I had a lot of leverage. And all I would do is get a cameraman down, take loads of pictures, record me, and then that's how I built my portfolio. But it looked like I was getting booked by corporates by doing my own events, but it was all my events.
Yeah. No, very smart.
Yeah,
Very
yeah,
smart.
you have to think outside the
Strategy,
box.
right? You have to think
outside
outside the box.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, very good. Wow. Live events. I'm starting monthly business networking events
Okay, amazing.
down here in this place
Oh wow.
every month. Any tips? Any advice?
Any tips for your networking events? I think again, look, I feel like you do this, so you'll be a great host anyway. Again, yeah, just get amazing people, man, and just this building. I've just walked through the like it's amazing.
It's a 5-star location.
Yeah, it's an amazing place to have a networking event. I think just always know what your theme is. Have different themes.
Yeah.
Have different kind of like subjects that you're going to focus on, and then get people
What do you mean by
around
themes?
that subject. So, for example, one might be property. You might have one on property.
Okay.
You might have one on startup business. You might have one on, how to, be better on social media.
Yeah.
And then when you've got a topic, you can get people that are doing well in that space to come and share their knowledge as well.
Yeah.
You know what I think a good tip would be as well, right? This is how you could kind of make a bit of income from it. When you have your events,
Yeah.
bring people down. Sometimes people are gonna be like, I'll charge this. But what you could do is if you get the traction and bring the people here and fill out the events, they can offer their offers and then take a percentage of their offers.
Yeah. Affiliates.
Yeah, in a sense. So people could come to your events, share, like, so for me, for example, I could share my public speaking course. Like, if I get 5 people out of your audience to sign up to me, then if I gave you, like, 30, 40, 50%, do you know what I mean? Because that's how, I don't know if you've heard of Success Resources. They're a massive events company in around the world.
Okay.
So they kind of bring Tony, UPW,
Yeah.
Tony Robbins.
Yeah.
Yeah, they bring Tony Robbins over and stuff like that. So they get a percentage of a lot of their work, of these big speakers' work. So
Yeah. That's it's funny you say that, right? And see, when you speak, that's a skill.
yeah.
Now selling from the stage is another skill,
Yeah,
right?
that's a completely
Have
different
you
skill.
are you where would you say you rank on that?
I would say I'm just learning because I've just started to have offers.
Okay.
All right. So first of all, I was learning my kind of like. First of all, I was just learning how to storytell. Well, first of all, it was just learning how to get over my nerves because public speaking. They say that that's more fear than death itself. Sometimes people would rather die than get up on stage and sound stupid in front of people, right? So first of all, I had to know how to overcome that and my nerves, and then it was just okay. How do I get my words out with more clarity? And then it was like storytelling because I knew that was the game. If you can tell good stories, your audience will be captivated by you, right? So that's what I started to do. Then it was kind of like, okay, vocal variations, okay, tonality. When I'm talking, am I using the right tones? Am I using pauses to make it really drop? Do you know what I mean? Like, make the pennies drop in the audience. And then after I kind of mastered that, that's when I started to think, okay, create an offer and how do I sell from stage? I would say out of 10, I'm probably like 6. I'm not bad because I've done a few talks now and I've had a lot of people buy from me from selling on stage. And like I said, I've turned my kind of like, couple £1,000 talks, few £1,000 talks into a lot of figures now. Do you know what I mean? Which is amazing.
So because I'm only getting going in this, the business networking events monthly, and I'm doing other things as well. But I really want to put up a big event, like once a year or twice a year.
Yeah.
I think that's when, because I've not really seen anyone properly doing it in the UK.
Yeah.
And then bring on great speakers like you or whoever, and then, we do something like that.
Yeah, definitely. I think that would be amazing. Like I said, look into Success Resources as well because they're kind of like leading it, but they're more around the world. I don't really see nobody focus on it in the UK.
Are they based? We're based everywhere, yeah. They're based.
Yeah, they're based everywhere. They have all the big speakers. So most of the times when you see like, I don't know, your big massive like speakers in personal development, most of the time it's from Success Resources.
So they would put it on for you and arrange everything.
Yeah, pretty much. Do you know what I mean? Or the emails and stuff like that. They'd kind of done it. So I've been to a few of their events as well.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned challenges, right? You mentioned 5 because I'm starting challenges.
Okay.
Now, but I've personally just thought I don't want to do it in live. I just want to do it online.
Yeah.
What was the reason for you to do it in live as well as, or you just going to do it both?
Well, it is I've done a 5-day challenge and that was to launch a membership.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I've done a 5-day challenge last year to launch a membership, which went well. But I wanted to, so I'm not necessarily doing a challenge live. I'm just taking that challenge. It was so much. I had so much content in that challenge, right? People ran out of paper in their house because it was online, and it was writing on their wardrobes. There was like people have sent me pictures of them writing so many notes on their wardrobe because you know what it is. I give a lot, right? I'm a giver, and I will give, and I like to pour everything into like my audiences. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes it can be bad, it can be good. I have people saying you give too much, man. Like no one's gonna buy your stuff. Like you're just giving out everything. But because when you've kind of studied something for so long, you've got it looks like you're giving out loads, but there's so much more to give.
Of course it is.
Do you know what I mean? So I thought, what I'm going to do? I'm going to condense the 5 days down into like a 2 or 3 day event, and it's just going to be an event that I'm going to charge for.
Yeah.
But challenges are still very, I think they're effective. I think they kind of got popular over lockdown, right?
They're really good, bro. I
Yeah,
think that's the new thing.
yeah, that is the thing. So I would say,
I don't think the UK market's got onto it yet.
you don't even think they got into it. To be fair, I don't think a lot of people probably have done it.
No.
Like I said, when I done mine, it went well. Like I had over 100 people every single day,
Yeah.
for 5 days. Do you know what I mean? Nobody really dropped off, which was amazing. Um, I d one mistake, just don't do this, right? If you're using Zoom, make sure you've got the proper package, right? Because I had a package, but it was only for 100 people. So I came off my first day challenge, the first day. Everyone was on my inbox like, I can't get in. What's going on? Da 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 da.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I was just like, oh my gosh.
Technology.
So I was like, what's going on? So I phoned Zoom, and Zoom was like, oh yeah, yours is only up to 100 people.
Yeah.
I was like, that's crazy. I needed more in it, so I had to get the higher package. So make sure you got the right package
Yeah,
online
yeah,
first.
yeah. Oh, I'm gonna be doing monthlies
Are you gonna be doing monthly challenges?
religiously. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know who does them really good as well? Myron Golden.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
He's
yeah.
got his own challenges as well.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, I think that there's a bit of a cost on his ones. I think they're like 90. I don't mind. Mine was free.
Yeah.
But I think he does them for about, I think they're like £99 or something like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And the reason why I think you should put a charge, well, you can do them free, but
Oh, I'm not gonna do them free.
yeah, do put a charge on them.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because listen, when people take free stuff, it's like you attract the wrong people sometimes. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah.
Don't get me wrong, give your value out on Instagram and stuff like that. But when people pay, they pay attention. Do you get what I mean?
100%.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
a big believer in that.
Yeah, man. When people pay, they pay attention. Do you know what I mean? And you know what it is? My value, I've got a massive value on investing in myself, man. Like when we talk about purpose and values, my highest value, which I would say comes before anything, it's personal development.
Yeah.
All right, like because I've been in it for so long now, since 16, like reading those books from early on. Personal development is my height. So most of my money, it won't go on clothes. I don't care about anything else. I just like to be on courses. I like to always be learning
Yeah,
and
man.
knowing that I'm feeling like I'm elevating in life.
Love that. Love that. Are you planning on reaching out to any mentors and getting in certain circles for next year, or just to keep elevating, or?
Yeah, I've always got mentors. I've got mentors right now. I've got coaches right now for different things as well.
Yeah.
I think one area that I want to get back on is gym. So I'm definitely investing in a PT. I need to invest into some PTs and stuff like that. But I'm like, Les Brown was one of my mentors. So I invested into Les Brown. I was on one of his courses. That was great as well. And to be honest with you, when I went on one of his courses, there was quite a lot of people in his group, right? I think there was like 200 people. He picked me as one of the top 20 speakers that he feels
Wow.
that can go and impact the world. And this is Les Brown, like he's the GOAT of motivational speaking,
Yeah.
right? And he had an event and he brought the top 20 speakers. I was one of them. And I kind of broke into the American market from there. Like, I've got a lot of American fan base and, people that check into my
Really?
content from America
Wow.
just from him putting me on that platform. And at the time, it was lockdown. I was thinking, okay, I need to, all my money that I've got saved, I need to like make sure that I can like survive this period of time. And the missus, she's like, you can't be investing in things, but something in me was like, you just need to make this investment, man. This is going to help you. Do you get what I mean? And I made the investment, and it 10x'd.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
10x'd,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
So
Was it
sometimes
big? Was
it's
it a
like
lot? Or
it was a fair amount. It depends what you call it, like. Innit?
That's what I was just gonna
Yeah,
say.
yeah,
Yeah,
it depends
yeah.
what you call it, like. But it was a decent amount.
So Dan Pena.
Yeah, yeah.
I really want to go to his mastermind.
Okay.
He does it in Scotland in a castle. And I
Okay.
think it's 25 grand or something for 3
Yeah,
days.
yeah.
He rips your business plan apart, and
Yeah, yeah,
obviously
yeah.
just rebuilds it back up. But I was looking at that. I really like it.
Yeah, yeah,
I think
yeah.
that will be interesting. So
I definitely believe that, if you can invest into things, but at the same time,
yeah,
it's strategy, isn't it?
of course it is.
You don't want to put your whole life savings into something because
No.
that would be stupid. I've got a bit of a strategy where, I like to have different pockets of money. Like, so for example, I'm massive on saving.
Right.
I don't think people teach this much. Like, I really do believe the first form of wealth creation is to save money. Now, a lot of people say you shouldn't keep your money in the bank, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that.
Yeah, yeah.
However, though, when you've got a decent amount of money put down, you start to feel more confident in yourself.
Of course you do. Of course
Do
you
you
do.
get what I mean? You feel confident in yourself. When you're talking with people, you just feel you got that because you've got a bit of capital put down.
Yeah.
And then what I do believe is you save enough capital, and then from that savings you start to invest that into investments.
Yeah.
But what a lot of people do, and I feel like it's the wrong advice, everyone's just investing everything that they've got. Do you get what I mean? And they end up like if things like happen or things go wrong, they run flat on their face. Do you get what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah.
So I'm massive in saving. Do you know what I mean? I've known people that they ain't got more income than somebody, but they've got more savings. Do you know what I mean? Because some people, money management is just, it doesn't matter how much you're
I
making, if
think
your
Dave
money
Ramsey
management are
teaches
good.
that as well.
Who?
Dave Ramsey.
Oh, I don't think I've come across Dave Ramsey.
Oh, he's been at it for about 20 years. 10. So see Robert Kiyosaki,
Yeah, yeah.
Rich Dad Poor Dad. He just says, and Grant Cardone. Sorry, yeah, Robert Kiyosaki is about debt, isn't he?
Yeah, yeah.
So Dave Ramsey is the opposite.
Okay. Okay.
So he's like what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah, I do believe that. I feel like save your money. Like I've got a child now, right? So
Yeah.
from early, it's going to be about savings. Do you know what I mean? Once you've got a nice cap, and your cap, it doesn't have to mean you don't need 1 million in savings. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying make sure if you break your leg and you can't work for the next 12 months, make sure
Yeah.
you got all your bills covered, for example.
Yeah,
Do
yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? That's comfortable.
Course it
You'll
is.
feel a lot more comfortable then, and then you can take a part of your money and start investing in things. You have to earn the right to invest. Don't just invest, earn the right to do it. Get your knowledge up on what you're investing in and make sure you can put up your own money as well, man. I am a believer in like saving, investing a part of your savings, and also what I do is other than my savings, I save a little bit of my income as well for personal development because the last thing I want to do is just say, oh, do you know what, that's come up and then I'm just taking out all my money. I want to have a strategic
You're
account for it.
strategic, and you got patience as well. Clearly.
Yeah, yeah, you have to have patience. You
Yeah.
definitely have to have patience. But I believe that's a massive part of wealth
Nah,
building.
definitely. That's really, really good. So you got the public speaking offer there. What's at the moment, your strategy in terms of getting customers?
I'm very fortunate because I started public speaking
Yeah.
and I grew an audience from that.
Right.
So because I have an audience already and everyone knows me for speaking and motivational speaking, when I'm putting like, I want to open up my diary to 5 people, for January, they get booked up straight away.
Wow.
Luckily, because I've got an audience already. I don't have a massive following. I don't have like 100K on Instagram.
You don't need to though.
But you don't need to, and that's the thing. Because what happens is there's a lot of influencers. They've got 100, 200, 500,000 followers, but they don't have no offer.
Yeah.
They actually don't know how to productize themselves and monetize themselves. They're just posting pictures, waiting for brand deals, which is a good way of making money. But you can have a product and an offer as well to tap into that audience. Do you know what I mean? But somebody like me, like luckily the 5,000, I don't even know what I've got because I don't even check that stuff. But like the 4,000 people that I have on my Instagram, they believe in me. They believe in me. They've seen me do this work for years. So now I've kind of come out with an offer that's aligned to what I've been doing over the years. It's quite easy to
They're
fill
gonna
up.
take you up.
However, though, I know that there's always a cap of your own audience, so you have to keep it growing. And for me, it's now going out to events. So when I'm speaking now, I share a massive keynote. I've got different keynotes, but one of my keynotes is called The Power of Your Authentic Voice.
Yeah.
And why using your voice in your story can absolutely change your life. And when I'm sharing that, when I'm talking to the audience, are like, wow, do you know what is right? And then when I share my offer at the end, for a free call or to come and come on one of my webinars, they'll jump in. So I'm doing it that way as well. And I haven't started to run ads yet, but because I am getting to that kind of income now where I'm thinking, you know what, I'm good enough to start investing a lot of the income that I'm making from coaching into ads and stuff like that. So I'm going to be starting to use a lot more ad creation and that next year. So I'm working with some ad spend and some ad agencies now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. You definitely need more offers, bro.
Yeah,
You need a
definitely.
high ticket offer.
Yeah. Well, my one-to-one coaching is high ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah, that starts at 4K.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I'm doing that at the moment. I haven't got a low ticket offer or anything like that yet.
You need
I haven't
that
got
as
no, but yeah, no,
Have you got a book?
I haven't got a book yet.
That could be your low
that
ticket.
could be my low ticket offer.
Yeah.
And I'm going to create the book around again the power of the authentic voice.
Yeah.
And how to master your communication as well. So that's it. But yeah, man, like I said, like getting into public speaking, it's changed my life, man.
Course it has.
I didn't think sharing my story would be so impactful. When I was first doing them classrooms, I didn't think it would lead me to, Richard Branson giving me a shout out,
Yeah.
or Idris Elba reaching out to me, writing about me in newspapers, or I've had an interview with Lionel Richie. Like, come on, man, the greatest
Yeah.
record artist of all time. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Recording artist of all time. So these things have just been mind blowing, and literally, it's just been the power of getting a message and being able to communicate it effectively to audiences, man.
Yeah.
So powerful.
Any final messages to the audience, people watching you, bro? You've given plenty of game. Hope they've been taking notes. And I always say note takers are money makers.
Note takers and money makers. I just think like, mindset is really important, man. Like whatever you have in your mind,
Yeah.
a vision you can hold in your hand.
Mm.
But you really have to get your mind right and start believing. And what stops people from, creating success is their I'd say their mind, not being able to think in a way that's going to help you become successful is what's stopping a lot of people.
Yeah.
A lot of people are around the wrong environments, and they're getting the wrong information, and they're just not believing themselves. And society, they want you to think negatively.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of shut that off, and you have to really reframe your mind. Because they always say from the ages of 0 to 7 years old is your most crucial time. And a lot of the time from those, all we've ever heard is them ages, you can't do that, stop doing that, that's not for you. And we kind of embedded those beliefs until our adult age. So we have to kind of unlearn
Yeah.
to relearn.
Challenge them beliefs. Yeah.
Exactly. And
Of
we have
course.
to deprogram to reprogram.
Yep.
So work on your mind, work on your mindset is really key. And then I'd say the second biggest thing of all is finding your purpose. Now, finding your purpose is what most people say, but your purpose is actually already in you. Oh, sorry, I didn't
Hey,
mean
answer
that.
it if you need to. Maybe.
Sorry about that. Oh, let me do that bit again.
Yeah. Yeah. No, don't worry. We'll just keep it in.
Keep it in. All right, keep it in, man. This is the rawest podcast I've
Yeah.
been on, man. I love that. So yeah, I'd say the next most important thing is, figuring out what your purpose is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what you can do, I always say the quality of your
You were
life.
saying your purpose is inside of you.
Yeah, it's
already.
inside of you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the quality of your life is based on the quality of questions that you ask yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ask yourself the right questions. If I was to ask you, what do you speak about the most? You'd probably say business. What do you invest most of your time in? You're probably going to say business. What do you invest a lot of your money in? You're probably going to say business. What conversations light you up when you speak to others? Like somebody could come in here now talk to you about Coronation Street. You're gonna to be friendly. You might say, "Oh yeah, really," and you'll probably think about something else.
Yeah.
But if someone comes in and are talking about investments, business, property, you're gonna light up and you're gonna be engaged in that convo.
Definitely.
So when you ask yourself a number of questions, I do something called, it's basically to help you understand what your purpose is. And there's about 13 questions that I ask people.
13.
13. And then what you'll do is you look at those 13 questions, and then what pops up the most, all right, is probably what you should be focusing on. So if I was to ask you 13 questions, like we've just asked you 3, and you're probably going to say that it's a lot to do with business. So then it's like, okay, cool. Now what can we monetize on that? How can we monetize, a business idea? Do you get what I mean? For some people, it's their dog. They love their dog. They love talking about their dog. They love spending money on their dog. All right, cool. Maybe we need to set something up around dogs then. Can you look after other people's dogs? All right. Can you have a dog service where you're looking after people's dogs when they go on holiday? Do you want to create some sort of dog clothing?
Yeah,
Or do you want to, I don't know, make your own dog become go on Good Morning, what is it called? What's that
Dog show.
Yeah, the dog show. But what do people do? What's it?
The Britain's got.
Britain's Got Talent.
Yeah,
I've seen people take their dogs on there
Yeah.
and win $250,000. Do you get what I mean? So what I'm trying to say is, whatever your purpose is, whatever you love doing, whatever you love thinking about, whatever you spend most of your money on, whatever you seem to talk to people about the most, take that and find a way to monetize it, because there will be probably 200-300 ways you can. Pick one of those ideas, get to work, because when you do your purpose, the universe will open up for you.
Yeah.
Honestly and truly, things will start to happen so quick, right? And things don't need to take, like me, like 10, 15 years. Do you know what I mean? It don't need to take that long. If you find your purpose now, things can happen within 6 months, 12 months time, honestly. So I would say work on your mindset, work on what your purpose is, and then the third thing is get a strategy, right? A lot of people, they might have their purpose, they might think positively, and then they believe in all of this law of attraction stuff, which is a universal law. But in attraction, there's a word called action. So look at the word attraction. Action is in it. Find a strategy that you can follow. Find a mentor that can give you a strategy and execute that every day. All right? Because the reason why you're not where you want to be is because of inaction. Right? Inaction is what is going to ideally just keep you in the same place year after year.
Yeah.
Right. Take action and make sure it's on your purpose with a right strategy. And I promise you, man, like whatever you think about in your mind is going to happen. Everything that I've thought about in my mind so far has happened, and it's kind of like you almost there's a science to it. I just believe there's a science to it. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And that is the science. Right? I call them the three M's: mindset, motivation, and methods. Your mindset is your mind, your motivation is your purpose, and your methods is the strategy that you're going to take to move forward and execute and bring your goals to reality.
Yeah, no, absolutely love that. So when people work with you on the public speaking thing, I guess you take them through all these purposes and go through everything with them, and because clearly you over deliver in what you do, right?
Now, 100%, it's important, first of all, knowing what their mission is,
Yeah.
what mission, where do they want to be talking and who are the audiences that they want to impact.
Yeah.
Then it's all about, crafting that story and that framework and your offers. And then it's the strategy as well. So like I told you, like one little nugget about LinkedIn, how to get public speaking engagements.
Yeah.
But, I've got like 15, 16 other ways
So you
to
help
do
them do
things as
that,
well.
get them as well.
Yeah, help them do that. Like if you come on a program for me within I'd say 0 to 90 days, you definitely have your first high paying public talking
Love that.
speaking engagement. If you're putting in the work, obviously I can't drag everyone, but if I'm working with someone that's motivated and they're hungry for it, because I know that this is their purpose,
Yeah.
like that is what will happen. Don't get me wrong, in my early days when I started doing the coaching, I did have some people on that wasn't motivated, but I have a good screening process now. Like I don't just take money, like I'm not money motivated in the terms of, because I understand I don't want to work with somebody, they take the money, they quit, and the next thing you know, they're writing bad reviews on whatever it is. Do you know what I mean?
You've been through the game, you know that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, we have a good questionnaire process to go through to make sure I'm working with the right people.
Yeah.
Very important, man.
Nah, I know a few people. I'll send them towards you, bro. And I'm sure there'll be people who are interested here learning from you. How do people reach out to you?
If you want to reach out to me, Instagram's probably my favorite platform.
Yep.
Just at Cordell_Jeffers. I'm on LinkedIn as well. Also on TikTok, but I'm trying to get into this TikTok world, man. Do you know what I mean? I wasn't into the dancing stuff, and then I realized, that people are actually spitting gems on there and doing well on there as well with that.
Yeah.
Because I just thought it was all for kids that were doing like,
No.
hopscotch or whatever they was doing on there. Do you know what I mean? But I realized you can actually grow an audience on there as well.
Oh,
So
definitely.
I try to be as omnipresent as possible. New Year as well. I am thinking about dropping a YouTube as well, just to teach people more game because.
Have you got a YouTube channel yet?
I've got one, but I haven't been active on it.
Yeah,
so,
bro, you need to be there.
Yeah, that's a long form content is something that I want to get into.
Yeah.
Because like I said, public speaking is one side of me, and then obviously I've got businesses that are running in the background as well. I've got a whole sales company that most people don't know about as well. Yeah, we do, because I started sales, and this is how I kind of got a lot of my communication skills from door to door. So I was doing door to door selling when I was younger.
Best way to learn, right?
Best way to learn, man. Like getting doors slammed on you, rejection. Do you know what I mean? I've sold everything from internet to gas and electric to charities. I was that guy that would knock your door as you're watching Emmerdale. Come to the door, like, what do you want? And as you're trying to close the door, back in there, I used to put my foot there. No, listen, hear me out real quick. So what I've got is a sales company. So we work with brands. And whether it's anything to do with face-to-face selling or whether it's market research, you'd kind of come to me. I've got a pool of, sales agents that go out. They do either door-to-door, it could be face-to-face on the street.
Wow.
Or it could be at events as well. So we work with some massive brands. We've got some multi-million-pound brands that work with us at the minute in the vaping industry and stuff like that.
Wow, okay. So if someone wants to reach out to you for the sales stuff, they can reach out to you for that as well?
Yeah, they can. And do you know what? I don't know.
What's your role in the company then?
I'm the director.
Okay.
Yeah, so I founded and started the company.
So that must be your day work up there all the time.
Do you know what it is? I've got it to a place now where it can be a lot more residual, as in a sense where I've got
Bit
managers.
more systemized, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a lot more systemized now. I still do love the game though. Like guys, you might see me on here, you might see me in St James's Palace picking up an award from the King. But listen, sometimes I like to be in them streets, man.
Of course.
Selling.
That's where you learn, right?
It's my first love as well. It is my first love, and that's how I started to develop communication skills. So, for example, let's say I was selling, I don't know, let's say I was selling gas and electric, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, on the street, you're coming across loads of different people.
Yeah.
And one of the best ways is to mirror your audience, all right? So if I had an older lady come and, she's a bit more, you could tell that she's quite older, you kind of adopt your body language and the way you speak to her.
Of course.
But then if I see, somebody like youngster could be a bit more lively, if it's man them, yo bro, what you saying? Come over here, let me speak to you real quick and tell you about what we got going on. So I learned to adopt my style of communication for multiple audiences, and that would just be like over one day. So in any one day doing sales, you're speaking to so many different people from so many backgrounds. And that really helped me my communication skills, man.
Super helpful in business.
Yeah, man, 100%. I'm not gonna lie, my daughter is going to do door-to-door sales. So I don't care. Like, she has to, because that's what built me, man.
By the time she grows up, is that even going to be a thing, right?
Well, yeah, well, that's true. Now, do you know what? I do believe that will always be a thing.
Yeah,
you can't beat face-to-face
You
selling.
can't.
Can't, man. You can't beat it. And one thing that I learned from my sales days was what you lack in skill, you can make up in numbers. So when I first started doing door-to-door, I would knock loads of doors and I'd just get rejected. And then somebody told me, listen, if you knock this amount, that you should be able to get this amount of sales. And I'd done it. And every time I'd done it, the numbers worked. I was like, oh yeah, I did. And then what would happen is I'd get better. And as I get better, like I would only need to knock less doors until I made that number as well. So what you lack in skill, make up in numbers, and that's for anything that you do. Do you know what I mean? Like you're always one away from making that one viral video. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Or that one viral piece of content, and it's just you just gotta keep banging it.
You do.
Do you know what I mean? Look at Colonel Sanders, who created KFC.
Yeah.
He started KFC at 66 years old. But before that, he had knocked, I think it was 1,009 doors before somebody agreed for them to take on the Kentucky Fried Chicken recipe.
Wow.
1,009 doors he knocked. Everyone rejected him. No one wanted his recipe. Your idea's stupid. Do you know what I mean? It was, if he had stopped at the 500 time, we would not. You guys wouldn't be clapping down that KFC chicken that you're doing today.
Yeah, everyone loves that one, right?
I mean? It took him 1,009 times, man. And then you look at people like, what's the lady that started Harry Potter? What's her name again? Go on,
what's her name? The one who read the books. She got banned as well, didn't she?
Yeah, I don't know how the name's gone out of my head.
How can we forget her? She's a billionaire. What's her name?
That's it, J.K. Rowling. Sorry, guys. Long journey to Manchester. But J.K. Rowling, she tried to get Harry Potter published long before it did. You know what I mean? And she got rejected by so many publishers. She ended up getting it published around in her 40s.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? And now she's a multi-billionaire from it.
She is.
So it just proves that, keep going, keep staying resilient, and it's a numbers game.
Of course it is.
Anything you want to do, just understand it's going to take a while, but just keep grafting, man. Put in those reps, like you said, man, early on.
Yeah, bro, I love that, guys. You want to upgrade your life, upgrade your mindset.
Upgrade your mind, yeah, because your mind will change your behaviors and your beliefs, and that will that will change your action towards things, man.
Yeah, bro. Listen, we'll put all your descriptions below.
Wicked, man.
I appreciate you, bro.
Thanks for having me, brother. Appreciate it, man. Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, the beat's back. Adrenaline pumping through my veins, can't relax. Original, I am not the same as these cats. I sting them if they never ever mind and they beeswax.